Today, I am making this video because I love you guys, and I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here. Today, I'm gonna teach you, again, all the secrets to making the best syrups at home, meaning brands like Amoretti can get out of here. Because if you want something that's easy, simple, go ahead, buy any premium brand of syrup. But if you wanna just do it at home and spend maybe 10, 15 minutes making it, it's gonna save you a lot of money and a lot of time, so let's get into it. Okay guys, so that intro was a little bit dramatic. There is a lot of reasons to buy bottled syrups and not make them at home, but for me, I do not think it's worth it. I love Amoretti, they are great, but making syrups is so easy. So today, I have never made this before. So I'm gonna teach you how to make blue Curacao syrup at home because this stuff runs you $15, $20, and even $30. And all it is an orange peel syrup. Let's make it. First thing we're gonna need to do is we're gonna get this water nice and hot. So let's turn on our little burner here. We'll throw it on max because you only live once. And now we are doing 3/4 cups of water. Next up, while we're getting this nice and simmering, we are going to peel an orange, but we wanna get the pits while we do that. So you grab your orange peel, you go like that, and you wanna get the white stuff in there. Toss your peel right in there, like so. And we're just going to peel this entire orange. Now the thing with blue Curacao is even though it's a sweet syrup, it does have a little bit of bitterness, and that comes from the orange pit. Now that we have all of our pips, this is where all the sugar comes in. We have to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar to the pits. It sounds like a lot, but that's what goes into syrups. I say it sounds like a lot. It is a lot. Now just to release some of the oils from the orange peels, we're just gonna muddle this all up. You can just use a spoon, a spatula, whatever, but you just wanna kinda grind it all in there and mix it and emulsify it and all those fun words that I don't really know the definitions of. So I'm just gonna continue muddling and mixing the oils and the sugars and all that stuff from the orange peel until we get this to start finally simmering. It's a little boring, but that's where we're at. I'm starting to realize I don't really go too in depth with any of my syrups. Like when I make my Nuka-Cola syrup, it's just a combination of Coke, Red Bull, and Dr. Pepper. Whereas here, I'm finally using orange pits. I'm getting a little bit more bitterness. I think I should start doing that. My next round of syrups, maybe I'll try and go like all hardcore. But at the same time, I want something simple for you guys to follow at home. So it's kind of like, do I want to make something really intricate and incredible and, extremely diverse in its flavor profile, or do I want something that you guys can make at home? I guess that's kind of the question I'm asking you. Do you want me to try harder? Do you want me to go harder? Or should I just keep it simple so that we can make fun recipes together, like friends? Now that our water's simmering, we're gonna add in our orange peels and sugar. And here is the secret ingredient. Now you could just add about half a tablespoon of lemon juice if you don't have citric acid, and if you're not a bartender, why would you have citric acid? But I do, so we're gonna add 1/8 of a teaspoon, definitely a teaspoon, into that. And now we're gonna stir this all up until the sugar dissolves. We're gonna keep it simmering for this. So now that the sugar is dissolved, we just have to keep this at a simmer for 2 more minutes. So now that this has been simmering for about 2 minutes, it's time to pour this all back into a glass container. And all we're gonna do is let that steep with the orange peels for about an hour. Now, let's move on to the next syrup. Our next syrup that is probably, it rivals blue Curacao. Blue Curacao is still hands down the most popular syrup on my channel, but a close second is black cherry syrup. So let me show you how to make that. Again, we have our nice fancy saucepan. We pour in a cup of water. Next, we're gonna add in the cherries. Now, I say a black cherry syrup. What is a black cherry? It's not real. All that means is cherries that are a little bit more ripe than usual. And as you can see here, these are very, very ripe cherries. They were frozen for a while. So we just toss those right in. And you can see the juices already falling apart. They're ripe, they're ready to go. Next up, we are going to add in a cup of sugar. Now I'm using cane sugar just like I did for the blue Curacao. You can even use a sugar substitute if you'd like. And then you would avoid the diabetes that I love so much. Dump that in. Jesus, that's a lot of sugar. All right, so now we just want to give this a stir. Make sure all that sugar is dissolved as best we can. It's not quite simmering yet. It doesn't matter when you add the sugar. But yeah, so let's bring that to a simmer. All right, so now that we've brought this to a simmer, the sugar's completely dissolved. We want to kind of do our best to mash the fruit in a little bit. We don't truly need to muddle it. We just need time. We are going to wait 20 to 25 minutes of letting this simmer, breaking down the cherries, making sure all those fruit juices are released. That way we have a truly delicious and bold black cherry syrup. 20 minutes later, and this is getting spooky. So we've had it simmering, the fruit is broken down, basically worthless, falling apart cherries. We're gonna turn this bad boy off because it's getting hot. And now we need to very carefully strain and pour our black cherry syrup into a bottle. Now this part is tricky because when it's hot, it bubbles. I think I've shown you guys this before. It's dangerous, but I'm a dangerous man. So let's carefully pour in our black cherry syrup. Oh, you gotta be, Jesus, God. Oh man, that was crazy. I told you guys to be careful and you didn't listen to me. Nobody ever listens to me. That's crazy. Okay, well, we're gonna cut. A little movie magic right here. We need it. We need it bad right now. Son of a... Okay, so that whole fiasco has inspired me. That is my canon event for Sin City Bartender. I've had these metal bar, I don't know what you call them, bar things. You know, to avoid the masses, we're gonna leave these up on the table. Whenever I'm filming, you're supposed to be getting this B-roll action. What I think, and that's why we're not doing it.
No, it's cool.
All right, so now that we have the mess cleaned up, this, at least for today's videos, or just this video, who knows how I'll feel about this in 5 minutes. But so anyway, the mess is cleaned up, but we're still not done with this black cherry syrup. This is what makes it black, a little bit of my buddy, Mr. McCormick's black food coloring. You're gonna put in about 5 to 10 drops because it does do more work than you would think. Give that a little bit of a swirl. See if that color is where you want it to be. And that, for me, I mean, that's deep, that's dark. That is black cherry syrup in the flesh. Let's see. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Now that we have our black cherry syrup all bottled and ready to go, it is time for the third most popular syrup that I have made on this channel that I haven't taught you guys in a very long time. So that final syrup that I'm gonna teach you how to make is Red Bull syrup. Now this is actually really, really easy to make. I opened a can of this for my Nuka-Cola syrup. Go ahead and check the description if you wanna learn how to make Nuka-Cola syrup. But I already have this, so all I'm doing is pouring this into a saucepan and I'm gonna bring it to a simmer. So come back in a few minutes. Okay, so we've officially brought the Red Bull syrup to a boil. Now this is, I mean, I was gonna say tricky part, but it's not tricky. All you have to do is I grab something wooden like this. I see, okay, you can kind of see a line. I don't know, his camera kind of sucks. So you probably can't see it, but there's a little line. You want this to reduce by half. It's gonna take about 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, reduce it by half, and then you are going to have your very own Red Bull syrup. Now, while that's going, because this is a long video, guys, I'm making 3 syrups. While this is reducing, I'm gonna go grab those orange peels because it's been over an hour at this point. We have our oranges that have been steeping, which is such a funny word, for over an hour. Now you could grab a coffee filter, a cheesecloth, any of those fancy things, or you could just throw a couple paper towels in here and throw in our mix. And it's going to slowly but surely drain through. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. A little bit of blue Curacao syrup. Here we go. You guys wanna know what we do next? Does anyone wanna know what we do next? You know? We're gonna cut it and wait for this to drain and for this to simmer, so. Our Curacao, our blue Curacao syrup is finished. And our Red Bull syrup is finished. That maybe reduced a little too much, but hey, here we are. We've got half an ounce of Red Bull syrup. I forgot about this, guys. I went and did something, but hey, we're here, and we made Red Bull syrup. You usually get like 4 ounces of this. You only reduce it by half. So I started with a half empty Red Bull already. So I went from 4 ounces to 2 ounces, and then I got distracted and went to 1 ounce. So regardless, we have our blue carousel syrup. Now you're probably wondering, Jason, Mr. Sin City, that's not very blue. Well, you would be correct. So what we have to do is grab a little tiny bit of blue food dye. I'm gonna go with 2 drops, just 2. Oh, and that is still kind of green. Let's do, we're up to 10 drops now. All right, 15 drops, and we have a very similar color to Amoretti. Let's now do a little taste test. I'm gonna do 2 shots of blue carousel syrup. This is the bartending content you came to my channel for. Shots of syrup. Just a little taste. I just want to compare. Okay, so color-wise, yeah, this one's a little bit greener, but I mean, not by much. Not by much. Let's see what we got here. Delicious, syrupy, thick. I don't think I can beat it. That's crazy. Mine's better. Theirs is too sweet. Mine is refreshing, bitter, sweet, and delicious, and even more viscous. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I won. I beat Amoretti. I think my only complaint is that mine isn't as blue. So what I would do is I would water this down a little bit because mine's thick, a little bit sick with the thickness, you know? So to fix that, I would then just go back and add a little bit of water, a little more blue food dye. And yeah, I would be left with the same viscosity because I actually add water to Amoretti syrup because, dude, I don't know what you guys are doing in the Amoretti test kitchen, but these are thick. So I water them down about 50% once I can start watering them down because, man, they're crazy, they're wild. So there it is, guys, the top 3 syrups on my channel: blue carousel syrup, black cherry syrup, and Red Bull syrup, all in the books. You guys will never have a question ever again about how to make syrups, but if you do, please just drop a comment below. And if you're not dropping a comment because you have a question, drop a comment just to say hi, because I love getting comments. And if you're not going to comment, at least leave a like, share it with your friends, and if you don't have any friends, share it with me. And most importantly, please subscribe. See you guys in the next video.